anything to the 0 power is 1. And some people are going to put 0 on their test. But I'm going to tell you, if you get confused, or what I would do is just make sure, if it has parentheses like that, then put parentheses like that, negative 4.2 to the 0. It is 1. Okay, just like we said it was. Anything to the 0 power is 1. If it didn't have parentheses like that, don't put parentheses. Just do whatever it says, okay? Is everybody good with that? All right. The next one is kind of confusing. I'm pretty sure this one's not on there, but all right. The negative sign is out here. That means my negative sign stays out there, right? Now, what do I do with 4 to the negative 2? Put it at the bottom, so it becomes 4 squared. What goes in the top? 1. And normally I would put 1 over 16. It would be negative 1 over 16. But they didn't want us to finish it. Why? I have no idea. So it's negative 1 over 16. Is everybody good with that one? Did y'all get that? Yeah? But the reason is the negative wasn't in there, so it had to stay out. That's why it stayed out to the very end. Okay. Then number 3. That's probably going to fall. Number 3, you have to decide what stays and what goes. So the 8, it stays, doesn't it? It doesn't have a negative exponent. What else stays up top?
D6.
The D to the 6. So what do you do with the G?
Move it down.
Which one is the only one where the G moved down? D. So this one was D. Are y'all good with that? Okay, you paying attention? You got that? Okay. Because this will be good review for your quiz too. All right. Number 4, 3. It stays, right? So I'm going to write the 3. What about a to the negative 9? What do I do with that?
Bring it up.
Yeah, we bring it up here. It has a now it doesn't have a negative exponent. And then b, it was just fine, so it stays. That's your simplified form. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's keep going. Number 5. The first thing I'll do on this one, let me erase that so it doesn't confuse me. Is I would move my negative exponent. So I would write 4 y to the 3rd, and then down here, I put x to the 3rd. Is everybody okay with that? The x had a negative exponent, so I moved it to the bottom. Now we plug in numbers. And our calculator, it can handle this for us, honestly. So if I put, let me cover, so it's just not so much stuff. There we go. If I put 4, and what do I plug in for y? What does it say? Negative 1, so I'm going to put negative 1 to the 3rd. And what do I plug in for x? 3 to the 3rd. Is everybody okay with what I did there? All right. What is, or if I were you, some of you can type this in your calculator and you'll get the right answer. If you're not sure, you can take it step by step. That's 4. What is negative 1 to the 3rd? That's negative 1. And what's 3 to the 3rd? 27. If you want to take it step by step, you can. So it's negative 4 over 27. What one is that?
B.
B? Okay. Negative 4 over 27. Yep, it's B. Did y'all get that one? Yeah? Okay, good. Y'all might be wishing y'all could go ahead and take this tomorrow. This one says, and I'm telling you, the whole first part of this is just like the quiz. It wants you to write the base once. If you just wrote the answer, that'd be fine. I would take it. But it wants you, what is the base here? What's the number at the bottom? What's the base? 8. So it's 8, and what's my exponent? It wants me to change it.
12.
Yeah, 8 plus 4 is 12. That's all it wants. Now, if you got the answer, I would take it, but it's probably a really big number.
So
that's all it wants on this one. It just says, because read your directions, write it using the base. Write it using the base. So 8 to the 12. And that's it. Okay, number 7. Oh, this is the same thing. Write it using the base. So I would have, what is my base? It's negative 5. And what is negative 5 plus 6? 1. Which one of those looks like negative 5 to the 1? That means negative 5 written once. It's A. Does everybody understand that?
Number 6, number 7.
I meant number 7. Yeah, I don't know what I said. 7 is A. Even if you put that in your calculator, y'all, it should have given you -5 if you entered it in the calculator right. Okay, let's keep moving. I feel like I'm going super fast, so y'all tell me if I need to slow down. And you know what you did on it? Okay, good. Now on this one, we'll simplify it. So let's look at the two numbers. That's 2 times 5. Those are called coefficients. The numbers out front, what's 2 times 5? 10. And then let's see the b's, I would add them. What's -1 plus 10? 9. Did y'all get that? So you have 10, b to the 9.
I got that. You get that?
Did y'all get that? Okay. Let's keep going. Number 9. All right, this one, what are my numbers out front? My coefficients. Again, they're the same numbers. What are they? That one doesn't have, it's understood 1. I have a 2 and a 5. What's 2 times 5? 10. Now let's look at the x's. I have x to the, what's 8 plus 5? 13. And then I only have that one, the y to the 10th. So I'll just write that.
Can I write that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Everybody good? Okay, number 10. Okay, so this one has a lot, but let's just look at all the numbers out front. What are they? I have a -4, a 2, and a 5. So my calculator, so I don't mess up, -4 times 2 times 5, and that is -40, right? Now I'll erase those. Let's look at the x's. I have x to the 3rd and x to the -8. If I add those, what is that? -5. Okay. And then let's look at the y's. I have -2 and 5. I'll add those, and what is that? 3. So I don't know if you see this as an answer or not, but what needs to be moved?
-5.
Yeah, the one with the negative exponent, the x. So what I would get, I'm betting it must be B. The y stays up top and the x moves to the bottom. Okay? Are we good with that? Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, if I might have time today, we'll just see, because I know I took a little bit of time already for beta stuff. But tomorrow at least, or today, I'll go through and tell y'all like which ones to study more for the test. Okay, number 11. Let me see how many. Yeah, I think I have something I can look at. Okay. Number 11. I have 7 times 10 to the 2nd and 7 times 10 to the 5th. This is called scientific notation. So let's take my base is 10. Let's take these two numbers. What's 7 times 7? 49. And then I have 10 to the 7. Now, that's like half credit. If you just get that, you've earned half credit on the test. You're halfway there. What's wrong with 49? It's supposed to, yep, you have to move it. The decimal's here. It's supposed to be only one number in front of the decimal. So that's not 0. One non-zero number. 4.9. And it becomes 10 to the what? 8. You'll add 1 to it. It's times 10 to the 8. Okay. I thought that was a ladybug. That's them watching some show. Romeo and Juliet, maybe? Wait, who's reading Romeo and Juliet?
Or don't have that for
Okay, so they're not watching Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if they're watching them. Okay, number 12. All right, this one is weird. All I would do, y'all, on this one, what you've kind of learned is that means it's the 4th root of 256. But guess what you can do with this number right here? Type it in the calculator just like that. Okay? And if you don't have a calculator, tomorrow what you'll do is borrow one from me and you'll make sure that you can get the right answers. 256 to the 1/4. Make sure that entire fraction is up there. And it should have given you 4. Did y'all get A? Okay. Or you can write it like this and type that in your calculator. All right, number 13. Now we're switching gears. So we've added exponents the whole time so far. Add. Now what are we going to do with exponents? Multiply. When you see the parentheses like this, you're multiplying. So that is p to the 12. There you go. All right, now we're going to take it a step further. M to the 7th. Do I multiply that times anything? It's not in those parentheses, so I'm just going to write it down. Okay, what is 2 times negative 9? Okay, now, this looks like a problem we've done earlier on the study guide. You add these. So what is that? Negative 11. And then now, all these steps, right? What do you do if there's a negative exponent? You got to move it down. Okay, so it becomes 1 over n to the 11th. So, I don't know. I didn't see answer choices. Let me see. It should, oh goodness. All right, I didn't realize. I'm hoping this one's not on there. This one's actually D. Why is it D? Because
It's just 11.
yeah, they just didn't finish it, and I hate that they didn't do that. So I'm hoping, let me see if that one's going to be on there.
What did you have on B?
What one is that? Crud. It looks like there is one just like that. Will y'all be able to remember that? Y'all will? Okay. It does look like that one's on there. So if you write your steps, this is what you get, and this is the correct answer, but they don't have that as an option, so you just have to match it. So you'd have to go back up a step, okay? I hope y'all are good with that. Then number 15, okay, what's the simplified form of this? What do you do with, it's like the same problem over and over. 4 and 5, what do you do with those? Multiply them. So you have negative h to the, and it's in parentheses, so I'm going to do negative h to the 20th. Are y'all good with that? I didn't put it in parentheses. That's okay. I would still take it. I would, but really it's supposed to be in parentheses. All right. I can do that for a second. Number 16. Okay, this one, it's multiple choice, but I'm going to leave it without it. All right. Everything in here is raised to the second power. Is everybody good with that? So I would write negative 5 squared. I'll get to that in a second. G to the what? 8. Very good, because of the 4 times 2. And then h to the 12, because of 6 times 2. Any questions so far on the first part? No. This one's good because there's no number. The number to me is the hardest part, I think. I guess the coefficient and number out front. Okay, this one, I've got g to the, what's 5 times 5? 25. And then h to the 5 times 5 is 25. Okay. Now what do? We just have to finish it. Yep, we're going to add the like terms. But what do I do? What's negative 5 squared?
Negative 25.
But it should be positive. Make sure you put it in parentheses, because think of it this way. A negative 5 times a negative 5, what is that? A positive. So that's really a positive 25. Now how many G's do I have? 33. And how many H's? 37. There you go.
I got that one.
So that one, make sure you understand why it is positive.
What'd you do? Typing the whole problem?
No.
What'd you do?
You did it wrong?
I had the same answer.
I got that wrong, just. I'm just one step. Oh, please.
You only got one wrong?
No, I'm just one step on that problem.
All
right.
I gotta see my quiz.
Number 17. Are we ready to keep going?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going too quick on this. All right. Number 17. Let me erase these. What do you do when we've gotten to division now? Or when we we subtract. So t to the, what's 11 minus 2 is 9. There we go. Just subtract those. Okay, number 10. I'm at number 10. What in the world? Oh, I said not t to the 9. That's where I'm getting number 10 from. Number 18. Subtract again. This time I need to subtract c's, and then I subtract d's. So what is, let's do the c's first. 9 minus 14.
Oh, 5.
Negative 5?
Or negative 5.
Yeah, it's negative 5. So write that down. And then what is, be careful here, type in your calculator if you need to, -7 minus -10.
3.
3. So notice the D is just fine, but what needs to move? The C to the 5th. Okay, and it goes to the bottom. So what is that? Is that going to be C?
C.
Yeah. I thought it looked like it might be C. Okay. Oh, that's all on that page. Okay. We're still good?
This one.
All right.
Don't have that anymore.
No, we really don't. Yeah. And I'm betting there's only 28 problems on here. So I'm betting most of these are on here. Y'all, if it has a scratch through it, ignore that because one year I didn't teach some of this and then I wished I would have. Like I didn't put it on there. But I'll see what's on the test. We are still going to go through the ones that are scratched through. Okay, this one, everything has to go to the third power. Everything in there. See how all of it's in parentheses? So 4 is going to go to the third power. What about K? That has to go to the third power. So what's 4 times 3? 12. Okay, 7, it has to go to the third power. So I'll put that. And C, that becomes C to the what? 9. Is everybody okay with that? Now, your K and your C are fine. What we have to figure out is 4 to the third power and 7 to the third power. What is that? What is 4 to the third power? Is that 64? Okay, good. 64, and is the other one 343? Okay. And I think that's my answer. If it were me though, what I would do is on my calculator, I would just make sure I can't reduce that. 64 divided by 343, math, enter. I cannot reduce it. It spit it right back to me. So that's it. That's my answer. Okay. All right. What would y'all do for number 20?
3.
Well, I would just type it in my calculator. Some of you might know what it is. What do you multiply times itself 3 times to get 27? 3, yeah. But to type it in your calculator, press the math button. And do you see number 4 where it's got the cube root? Or look, I'll even go to number 5. You can use number 5 every time and type in the cube root if you want to. That way, if it said 4th root, what would you type in? A 4 or whatever it says. And then just type in your number 27. I got to make a phone call in just a second. Okay, so the cube root of 27 is 3. There we go. Are we good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 22, is it linear or exponential? How do we know? Do y'all remember that?
It's a straight line, right?
Yeah. But how can you look? If you're just adding the same amount every time, that's linear. That's going to make a straight line. Okay, but if you are multiplying and it's growing faster and faster, that's exponential. So what are you doing here to get from 8 to 11 to 4? You're adding 3, so it's linear. But that's why you're adding 3 every time. Add 3. Check all of them. Okay, yep, adding 3 again, adding 3 again. So it's linear. When you add the same number, it's linear. Okay, so this one, number 23, does that look like a linear equation or an exponential equation? Exponential, because x is in the exponent, right? If your variable's in the exponent, it's exponential. What does it look like if it was linear? Here's just some examples. How about 12x or 2x minus 1? Do you see any exponents here? No. If it's going to have, if your variable's in the exponent, it's exponential. Okay. The next one, let's see. Does this one not give you? Oh, it does give you an equation. Good. But I was going to tell you, if it didn't, it's saying it doubles every decade. All right. That's why your base is 2. That's a function where it's doubling. Okay. And its starting amount is 3,800. All right. What is it worth after 2 decades? So what am I plugging in?
2 to the extra.
2, yeah. So y'all, you just type in your calculator. You're going to type 3,800 times 2 to the, and instead of x, you want you to plug in 2 for decades. So 2, and it is 15,200.
Hey, I got one.
So that's how much it's worth, the investment is after 2 decades. How many years is 2 decades?
20.
There you go. But it wanted you to plug in 2. It told you. All right, we're good with that one. This one, let's see. This one may be a little confusing. I'm hoping that, I don't know if I need to change it to where you have to graph it. It might be easier instead of matching it. Let's just see. Let's plug it in. We go to y equals, clear this out, and I'm going to type in 3 times 5 to the x. Okay, and then I'm going to graph it. So it looks like B and D. Does everybody see that? Okay, I think the easiest way to look at this is to go to the table. Let me move this over just a tad. So everybody agrees that it's between B and D, but I don't know what one to pick. So if I press second graph, I think this may be easier. I can't remember what I did last time. Look at all these numbers it gives me. It says at 0, I'm up at 3. Let's see. Well, that looks like that's about right. Yep, they both match so far. So let me check another one. At 1, what number am I up at? 15. So at 1, this one looks to be up at 15. At 1, here's number. Is the line crossing through that one? No. So which one's my answer?
B.
This one, or what? Yeah, B, D, C, whatever it is. I can't tell. All right. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Could y'all handle the matching if it was matching on the test? If it was, it's gonna look like that. It's gonna be between the two. So just go to your table and see. Just look. These are ordered pairs. Y'all plot ordered pairs all the time, or y'all did in 8th grade, right? Just see where it matches. Over 1, up 15. My graph does not go through that. It's not right. Over 1, up 15. That makes it. All right. So a couple more. Are these my last 3? Okay. All right. This one, I tell you what formulas to use. So it says it's growing at a rate of 3% each year. So be very careful. What's my starting amount here? 8,600. How do you write 3% as a decimal?
0.03.
0.03. Now, if it's growing at that rate, what do we write? We write 1.03.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that? That's very important. And it wants us to plug in what? What's the population
3.
after 3 years? So let me erase that little X and put 3. So I would give you that little formula. I'll tell you what one to use. That's just your starting number. The tricky part is make that into a decimal and put a 1 in front of it. And then if you plug that in your calculator, what do you get?
B.
Y'all, everybody got B? Okay. I'll double check. I trust you though. I really think you're right. 26 is B. Then 27, I want y'all to use this one. I'm going to pause this for a second. I got to go